Hi, my name is Lotfi Murat, and in my last live video I announced that there will be some things coming. So interesting fact is that next week I'll be recording two spontaneous conversations. And you might say, what? You already planned that you'll be having a spontaneous conversation? Yes, it's possible, because it's unscripted, and the only thing we can plan is like, well, there's this subject that we discussed recently and I would like to make a live about that. So due to technical reasons, we will most probably not have direct lives, but indirect lives, meaning that we will do a pre-recording and then I will stream it live. But it's going to be interesting because there are going to be two completely different conversations with two completely different people who are doing very different things, although they're connected. They're connected both to what I do, and I will not say more. I just want you to stay tuned and to make sure you're subscribed and that you're following me and get notified. Like, subscribe, and share. What I would like to talk about today is this is actually a very spontaneous video, because I felt the inspiration already earlier to record a video, but then things kept happening, and then suddenly I get this email from a cousin of mine, my oldest cousin from my mom's side, and we haven't seen each other since 1985, but his mom died recently and he's cleaning up the house now because his father already died years ago. So, and he came across something. So it was interesting because he messaged me through my website, used the contact form, like, hey, do you have an email address? Because I was like, okay, you want to send me an email? Yeah, great. So I haven't heard from you in a gazillion years. And then he sends me an email completely blank. I'm like, ooh, okay. So I replied, hey, empty email. So try it again. And then I saw an attachment and I was like, what? Really, that long or even longer? And I will put it on screen now. And that just brought me so much joy. And you probably get it already, because it's handmade by my mother back in the 70s. That's when people still had time to actually make something by hand. And the drawing was based on a drawing I made. Interesting fact is that I believe there are two specimens, because I remember a blue or purple version of it. And so I believe that version may be at my father's place. But this is a green one. And I do not recall that during a visit at my aunt's place that I saw it. I mean, for sure. She must have shown it to me last time I visited, like, oh, you know it. But I directly recognized it. So it's a high chance that the second one was or is still hanging at my father's place, somewhere in the house. And yeah, the reason for this video is that attachment to things, to objects, can often lead to disappointment or to fear of losing the object. But receiving something like this, decades almost half a century. Wow, that sounds long. After it's being made, after you actually created it or were part of the creation process, is amazing. And of course, this cousin of mine, does the effort to Google me, to find me, and then to send it to me. And there's something else that I wanted to say. Oh, I lost it. Damn it. The second thing I wanted to say is that the small gesture of doing this can create so much joy. I remember that I made a drawing for an uncle of mine based on a picture that was taken by his son, my cousin, another cousin of mine. Well, I was sitting on the boot of the brand new car of my uncle with my sandals on. And my cousin just put me there like, okay, I'm gonna take a picture. I said, but if you, no, don't worry, I will take the picture. And by the time we develop it and he will see it, you will already be long gone. And so he sent me that picture, and so I made the drawing and sent that to my uncle. And so a decade or so later, he sent that to me because he was they were cleaning up some boxes and stuff, and they came across this and sent it to me. And also a good friend of my mom also sent me something from my youth that I wrote to her or drew. I don't remember. But these things are really nice. It's about connecting with people, and at the same time it reminds us how important creativity is. Maybe you're an artist and you know this already. Maybe you're just like me. You don't really master a certain art, but you find some joy in drawing, singing, dancing, painting, whatever it is. And if you have one of these things that you really like to do, even if you're not good at it, because that's irrelevant, then do it. Because artistic expression helps us process or channel our emotions, our feelings. And I have been drawing. I mean, I haven't been drawing for a very long time, for a few decades, and then I picked it up a few years back. And from time to time, I sit and I make a drawing. And that really feels good. And I often don't think while I draw. I just draw spontaneously something. Or ideas start to come, and then I start to draw what idea came. So I start to put the different aspects of the inspiration that came. And then when I look at it, then after I finish, I'm like, hey, interesting. I start to see things, especially if I look at it the next day or a few hours later, or sometimes weeks or months later, and I see that, I'm like, So sometimes we get our insights from looking at our own drawings, at our own creations. And it's also really fun to do. If you love dancing, go out and dance. I wanted to be a DJ. I never became a professional DJ, but I did DJ on parties and on a wedding. And I still do sometimes, for fun, start remixing. And I do it digitally now. But back in the days, I was with my turntables and then with CD players also playing and combining them. And my first mixing was actually with a double deck cassette, and put the part, next cassette, and then continue from there. And I made some amazing mixes like that. Yeah, for those digital people amongst you, you will be like, huh? How did you do that? Yeah, well, today it seems easier if you know how to use the software. Back in the days, it was very simple. It was play, pause, go back, forward, and rec. The record button had a red dot on it. That's how it was on the cassette. And that's why you still have that red button as a record function wherever you are. That dates from there. Hey, now you learned something. You got a history lesson. So I really encourage you to express yourself in whatever form and shape. Just do it. And then you can decide to share it or to keep it for yourself or even burn it. It's like journaling, but then in a different way. And for example, last Sunday I spent 6 hours just listening to music. That's not very artistic, but I really let the music flow through me, the vibrations. So my neighbors also enjoyed those vibrations, because it was literally the vibrations. And sometimes I even do it digitally. That I start working on some graphic and I dive in, and then the perfectionist in me comes up, and then I start adding all these little details. And this is how I took once a picture from a cartoon, and which was like very raw, very simple, and then I started adding things to make it look like a real room where these two guys were sitting, with all the artifacts they would have around them, and the painting on the wall, a calendar, a dartboard, whatever, all those things, a little bonsai tree on the table, sticker on their laptop with a company logo, all these things. I put all those details in there. It was completely different. It was as if a picture was taken from a room with these two guys sitting, but it was a drawing. And of course with some ironical things in it. It was the Dutch military, so they had the dartboard had a picture of Putin, and then the darts were on it, and some other stuff, and the calendar was a gay calendar. And because the Dutch army, they have a big mouth, but actually they're so it was the irony. And then one had the bonsai tree and a little tank on his desk. Oh, and even the logos on the mugs that they had. So all these jokes. And I remember I spent also 2 hours on it, just for fun. Or sometimes for Christmas I create my own Christmas card that I send, or Easter card that I send to people, and then I start also playing with all the details and the coloring and so on. So do something creative. It will help you to empty your mind from all the negative thoughts, from all the stress that you have. And it's fun. If you need help to empty your mind, if you need some guidance, some tools to learn to relax, learn to get better focus, contact me, because I do teach this. And I have different ways of teaching it, and I also teach different techniques. So depending on what your story is and what you need, I'll give you what you need so that you also can learn to relax, to have more fun in life, but also to be more productive because you can focus better on what you need to do. I'm currently volunteering with refugees specifically for this because they come from a country in war and that brings so much stress with them. So I teach them how they can release that stress, how they can again smile, laugh, enjoy the simple things of life, or have a good conversation without talking about the war, but talk about something else. And this can help them, for example, to rebuild their lives. Especially if they have kids, for example. It's important that they don't stay just in the negative thoughts of what's going on and what other dangers the future may bring. All these thoughts and worries don't help us. Focusing on what we really want, that is how we create change. But for that, we need to change from within. So we need the inner peace, calmness. And from there we can move forward. So if you feel that you're stuck somewhere in your life and you have a lot of stress because of this, or that the stress is actually making you stuck, or maybe it's a chicken and the egg and you don't know anymore which one came first, and it doesn't matter. But in any case, contact me because I may be able to help you. And you'll see here, here. This is literally the link to my website, intuitiv.me. There you can find different things I'm doing, but I encourage you to just send me a direct message so we can have a talk and you can tell me a little bit more in detail what it is that you're running into. Looking forward to hearing from you. And maybe you'll share with me even what you've created. That would be really nice. Hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day. Like, subscribe, and share.